Hey guys and gals, this is Lunar from Lunar Nexus Gaming. Just made that up, sounds good. I got bored and decided to make a YouTube series on ARK. It sounds like a great idea. So I think what I want to do is start the series just through the story arc. So we'll start with the island, get off of the island, go to Scorched Earth, then Aberration, then Genesis, and as you can see in the upper left hand corner here, Genesis Part 2 is coming out very, very soon, and so if I time this correctly, we'll be rolling right into Genesis Part 2 when we're ready. I'll have to check on those dates. So I think I want the first episode to be just the basics. How do I survive the night? How do I keep my body parts intact? How do I navigate the interface? What's the HUD look like? And how do I create a character? So let's get started on that. We'll go single player for this. I've changed some of these settings. I cranked up the difficulty a little bit. I also changed some of the settings to take out some of the grindiness so that we're not waiting for weeks and weeks for dinosaurs to grow up and that sort of thing. But for the most part, this is vanilla settings. Now, I do have a couple of mods over here that I'm using. Super Spyglass, that'll be really useful later. Give you guys some info on what kind of dinosaurs I'm looking at and what their stats are. Hairstyles, you know what can I say? I need some style. And then Superstructures. Superstructures is a derivative of Structures Plus, and I use it mainly for building. There's a lot of extra snap points on the various parts and pieces, but really I'm going to try to minimize Superstructures quite a bit. We're going to try to keep this series as vanilla as possible within reason. So I'm going to clear out some of my old data here just so we're starting fresh, and let's get started. So after you click start on the single player, it's going to ask you where you want to spawn. And let's start with just the south side of the island here. You can see where it says easy right next to all these spots. And you can pick any of these if you really want, but I think we're going to start just at the South Zone 1. That seems to be the most popular zone for new players. And I can tell you, in the south is where you're going to find a lot of the beginner resources, lower level dinos that aren't going to necessarily eat you in one bite. It just generally good living down here. As you move north, it's going to get a little more complicated, a little tougher. Dinos are going to just swallow you whole. So let's go ahead and start down here. I'm going to create a new survivor, and you can customize this guy however you want, or gal if you would rather have a gal. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and save a preset here, just so I don't have to redo this later if I screw up this recording and have to redo it. And then we're going to name our survivor. And it's going to ask me if I want to get rid of my old survivor. That's totally fine. That's only the single player survivor. If you're playing on a server, this will preserve your settings. Waking up naked on a beach. Never done that before. So, we have a couple of things that we need to get through before we start into the game. First thing, mainly being just, what am I looking at when I'm looking at this screen? So, over here on the right hand side, we have a couple of different icons. If you're looking at something that you can harvest, this will change into the tool that you can harvest it with. My hands is what I can use right now, so we'll stick with that. This icon here is your experience. It'll flash when you're gaining experience. This is your weight. It looks like an old school, like a kettlebell or whatever. That will fill up as you become more encumbered. Then you have, hey, free level, awesome. This is your water. Your food, these will become huge for us. Uh-oh, I hear bad news. What are you guys doing? Leave me alone. None of that. Jerks. These guys are jerks, by the way. Stay away from these guys. They're just straight jerks. Yeah, down here we have our stamina. That'll become hugely important when we're running away from raptors. And then our health. Down here is our hotbar. We'll be putting things in the hotbar, as you can imagine, and using those to do various things. So now that we have the HUD on lockdown here, let's talk about the inventory. So you press the I button to get into your inventory. This game is basically all about the inventory. Everything has an inventory. That Triceratops down there, and they have inventories. There were some birds. Actually, those birds are jerks. You got to stay away from those guys. They are just really big jerks. But they have inventories. Everything has an inventory. So we'll press I to get into our inventory here. And these are the things that I'm holding. Just my specimen implant. Honestly, this does really nothing. So what we'll want to be doing is crafting things. We'll need to craft a couple tools, and you do that over here at the crafting menu. A shortcut to get into the crafting menu is the V key. First thing we're going to craft is a stone pick. So let's go grab some resources so we can make one of those. First thing is, let's grab some rocks. I'm going to run up to this rock here, and I'm going to press the E button and grab myself just a couple rocks. Second thing is we're going to run over here, ignore that bag, and we're going to punch this log a little bit. A little bit of blood coming off there. Notice the health on the right-hand side flashing, saying that I'm losing health from literally punching a log. Be careful. You can, in fact, kill yourself this way. So we've got enough wood and thatch here. Let's go ahead and craft this up. We'll hit the V key and hit E while we're over the top of this stone pick, and we've just made a stone pick. We are on the road to surviving. All right. I'm going to drag this down here to my number 1 slot, and that way when I want to use it, I can just press the number 1 button, and I want to put it away, I just hit the number 1 button again. There's another way to do that. If you're holding something in your hand and you want to put it away and just have your fist, you hit the Q button, and that will also put some stuff away for you. So the next thing we're going to need is a hatchet. Let's take a look at the hatchet in here. We don't know how to make a hatchet yet, so let's talk about engrams. Engrams are over here next to this button here. This is your inventory, so let's go to engrams. As you gain levels, and so don't worry, anything that says SS something, that's part of the superstructures mod. Just ignore all of that stuff for now. We'll discuss that later. The hatchet is actually right here, and I haven't unlocked it yet, so let's talk about leveling up. So as you can see, I have a couple points available here. You get levels passively just for being there and existing, and you'll notice this very, very, very slowly goes up, and it will do that always. Dinosaurs do the same thing. They level up very passively. So I think what we want to do is start putting some points into weight first. I'll put 5 levels into that. As soon as you get done leveling up, it's going to open up the engram screen automatically and ask you if you want to learn how to make some stuff. We're going to learn how to make the stone hatchet. Let's see. I think we also probably want to learn the spear and then probably the campfire. There is a superstructures version of the campfire. We're going to ignore that for now. So let's go back to the inventory here and crafting. Let's see what we need for this. We need flint, thatch, and wood. So let's talk about how to get some flint. Now that I have my stone pick, I can roll over to one of these bigger rocks and actually get some flint out of it. Hey there, buddy. How you doing? Nice walk on the beach. All right. So we're going to roll over to this rock. So if I were to just go to this rock and punch it or hit the E button, I'm not going to get anything out of it. But with my trusty stone pickaxe, I can actually whack this thing a few times and get a fair amount of flint, a little bit of metal, and a little bit of stone. So now let's go in here and craft us up a hatchet. I'll drag this down to the number 2. And now we're set on tools for a while anyway, until we roll up to the metal tools. So now that we have some tools in our tool belt, let's go find some wood here and discuss the difference between the tools. So once again, ignore that bag. As I punch this, I get, some 23 thatch 1 wood, 28 thatch 6 wood. Notice I'm getting a lot more thatch than I am wood. Now if I pull out my trusty pickaxe, give it a whack, I get 36 thatch 7 wood out of just 1 hit. So this is definitely giving me a lot more per hit. So obviously, as the Stone Age people figured out pretty quickly, using tools is a whole lot better than using your hands. Also, using the right tool for the job is important. So if I go to this tree and I whack this with a hatchet, 36 wood, 7 thatch. Notice I'm getting a lot more wood than I am thatch. Using the right tool gives you the right resources that you're looking for. So just remember, pickaxe gives you more thatch, hatchet gives you more wood. Alright, so we've got some tools. We can build some things if we need to. But what about defense? What are we going to defend ourselves with? Well, we're going to make a spear. So let's go into our crafting menu here. I recommend you make several. Spears have this nasty habit of breaking right when they're in the middle of a fight. You're getting ready to win the fight, and then your spear breaks, and then some guy eats your face. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and make a couple. We're going to drag them right down here to our number. Oops, nope. So let me take a little detour from this one for a second. So we're in the crafting menu here, and you can actually drag. This is a blueprint or an engram. I'm sorry, this is just an engram. You can actually drag that down to your hotbar, and then every time I hit the number 3, it'll create a spear. That's not what we want. So let's drag that back off of there and go into our inventory and drag the spears down here to our number 3. And now when I hit number 3, I can poke something in the face. So let's go down here and see if we can find something to poke. So I found our first victims here. We have a couple of dodo birds. They are non-aggressive. And what is this guy? Level 8, male. They really don't do anything but just walk around on the beach and get killed by stuff. So I'm sure they don't mind. So we're going to stab this guy right in the face. And so we have a choice now. We can use our pickaxe here to harvest his body. And if we do that, we'll get more meat than hide. If we use our hatchet here, we'll get more hide than meat. And that's actually what we want. Alright, we got our first meal. Hello there. So this guy is a trilobite. They just kind of roll around the beach and hang out. Very non-aggressive. If you happen to attack them, they'll just try to run away. In fact, let's go ahead and do that, because these guys provide some stuff that you'll probably need at some point. They're also pretty tough. I mean, for a small crustacean anyway. There we go. So let's go ahead and harvest this guy up. Alright. So our food and water is starting to get pretty low. You can tell by looking over there on the right hand side, or you can just kind of pop in here and look at your food, your water meter. Now let's talk about water first. There's 2 ways to get water. You can either just walk up to the water here and hit the E button. You'll take a little drink and fill up, or you can actually wade out into the water, and when you get about knee to waist deep, it will fill up your water. Now this can be kind of dangerous because I see a whole lot of stuff out there that would like to eat us. So let's just be careful when you're doing this. The other thing is if you wade into the water, if you're carrying a canteen or a water skin, the things that hold water, they'll fill up automatically, which is kind of cool. All right, let's talk about food. There's a couple different things that we can eat here. We have some meat in our inventory that we could eat, and if you eat raw meat, your food will in fact go up. Let's go ahead and do that. Just hit E. But notice my health is also going down. Food went up, health went down. Eating raw meat, it's just not very good for you. I mean, and, unless you have like a really good sushi or some carpaccio or something, it's just not going to be very good for you. So we're going to have to cook that. That's going to take a second. So let's go to option number 2. Option number 2 is right over here. Plants. So pretty much every plant that you see that is not a tree, you can harvest that, and they all provide pretty much the same thing, a random sampling of berries, seeds, and fiber. Both these plants are the same. They're just plants are plants. They're generic. So I'm going to roll up to a plant, and with my hands equipped, I'm going to hit the E button, and I'm just going to harvest up some plants. Notice I'm grabbing a whole bunch of berries, a little bit of fiber, and these berries, you can just eat them, and they provide a little bit of water and a little bit of food. Notice my food is going up, and my water will very slowly go up. You can use berries for water in a pinch, but don't rely on that to be your primary water source. Now, you're going to do this at some point. Everyone does it. If they've told you they haven't done it, they're totally lying. You're going to come over here, you're going to see, oh, these blueberries, man, those look really good. I'm just going to eat those, and I'm just going to hold down the E key, and I'm just going to plow through a bunch of berries, and then that's going to go away, and then this blackberry is going to slip right there in its spot, and then you're starting to eat the whole stack of these blackberries, and then you're going to go sleepy sleep time, and you're going to wonder what the hell happened. And it's because you ate a whole stack of narco berries. You can't do that. So let me caution you, blackberries, don't eat those. What they're going to do is they're going to make your torpidity go up, and torpidity is that's a measure of how sleepy you are. And once that meter gets all the way to the top, you're going to pass out until that meter goes back down. Unfortunately, that makes you very vulnerable to a whole bunch of nasty little guys on the beach that want to eat your face. So yeah, just be careful what berries you're eating. The ones that are okay to eat right now are the blue ones, the purple ones, the yellow ones, and then the red ones that I just ate. The other berries that you see here, these white ones, those are stem berries. Now stem berries, think of them like 10 cups of coffee. They will actually take your torpidity down. If something's attacking you and you're about to pass out, you can slap a couple stem berries down there and you'll be fine. The other thing with the stem berries is they make your food go down. So be careful with the stem berries. For now, I'm just going to drop these out of my inventory. Don't need them. I've also got some seeds here. I'm going to get rid of these seeds. Don't need those. We'll talk about seeds later. So I've satiated the hunger just a little bit, satiated the water, but let's talk about dinner time. We're going to need to make some steaks. We're going to need to eat some cooked meat, and so for that we're going to need a campfire. We'll go into our crafting menu here, craft up a campfire. That's flint, stone, thatch, and wood. And we'll just slap that campfire down right over here on the beach somewhere. Just any old spot will do. So you're going to notice when we slap down what would be considered structures, you usually have about 30 seconds to pick those back up before they become permanent. Once they're permanent and you want to pick them up, you have to destroy them. When you destroy something, you get, I don't remember the exact number, it's like 10% or something like that of the resources back that you put into it. I don't know why I have the knowledge and experience to craft these complicated hatchets and things, but I can't seem to move a campfire from one place to another without destroying it. But whatever. You know what? I didn't make the game, so whatever. So what we can do with this campfire now is we can press the E button to access the inventory, and we can see what's in the campfire, which is nothing. We can also hold down the E button, and it'll bring up a radial menu here, so I can demolish it, or I can access its inventory. There it is again. Or the F button is dedicated to opening the inventory of whatever you're looking at. I'm not real sure why there's so many buttons for this, but you can just hit the F button and you get the same thing. So what we're going to do here with this campfire is drag over some meat that we want to cook, and we also need to fuel this fire somehow, and there's two things we can use. We can use wood, or we can use thatch. I'm going to go ahead and use wood. It burns longer per piece that you put in there, and it also provides charcoal, which is something that we'll use later. If you use thatch, it doesn't burn as long, and you don't get any charcoal out of it, which can actually be a good thing when we get to making dyes and brews and things like that. So let's go ahead and light this fire. Alright, so we're waiting for our food to cook here. We've got one more item on the agenda that'll get us through the night, and that's making a little bit of shelter. And all we know how to make right now is some thatch kind of stuff. I actually went ahead and learned the thatch foundation, the door frame, a door to go in that door frame, the wall and the ceiling, and then some other decorative type stuff. I like the sloped roof. It just looks a little bit better, makes it a little more feng shui. So we're going to go ahead and collect some resources, and I'll show you how to build a little hut. Alright, we've got some resources here. I'm going to go ahead and sort this by alphabetical, just so it's a little easier for you to see what we've got. I've got a bunch of thatch here, a bunch of wood. I got fiber from harvesting plants. So let's go ahead and make some stuff. We're going to make, I don't know, 6 or so foundations. And you just hover over your engram here and hit the E key. I can also right click on it, craft a certain amount or all that I can make with my resources or whatever. Let's go ahead and here let's make some a door frame and a door, and then some walls, and then we'll need 2 of each of these, and then here I'll just show you how this is done. If I want to craft 6 roofs, well, that's what we'll do there. And it'll queue all these things up, and we'll eventually have those. Now, when you're crafting stuff, you walk a lot slower than normal. This is about the speed that you can go. There's no sprinting. And when we're done crafting, of course, we'll go back to normal speed. But just be careful that there's not some jerk on the beach that's trying to eat your ankles while you're crafting stuff. Just have a quick look around. And we can, of course, start building while we're raiding. So let's go do that. So what you do is you just you go in here, you hover over what you want, you hit the E button. Oops, it shifted. And you just put it where you want. Now the first one you lay down, let's show you this. You lay it down, and you have this little twisty thing here. You can just kind of move right and left and move it whatever direction you want. If you don't like that, you hit your right mouse button and it picks it right back up. So we're going to go ahead and snap this to the existing foundation that we put down there. I didn't make enough foundations, that's okay. And we'll put our door frame over here. Little door there. Slap a wall in there and there. I guess a thing about the walls. So you'll notice that the walls are kind of double-sided here, right? So we've got some like wood framing there, and they just look all nice and thatchy on the outside. If you want to change that around for whatever reason, the E key is what will shift those around, and you'll have a different wall there. They'll be kind of inside out. We don't want that. Let's pick that up. And so we'll just slap down some walls. And also when you're building and you get into more complex structures, there will be many times where you can have something kind of in the middle here and you don't know quite where you want it. You can hit the Q button and it'll just kind of shift around and go all over the place. It'll basically put it in all of the little places that are allowed. So keep that one in mind for later. So let's finish our foundation here. A couple walls over there. All right, now we can have a little bit of privacy, right? Cool. Let's put up our little angled walls here so we can get a roof on. We could have put a flat roof on here, but it makes me feel really claustrophobic. I'm just going to go with this. So I screwed up a little bit, made too many roofs. But that's okay. When you create something, craft something, you actually get XP for it. So it's not so bad. So I have 6 extra roofs, you know, whatever. So now we have a little home. We can come in here at night. We don't have to worry about, you know, things coming in and nibbling on our toes. Let's check on our fire a little bit here. So we have some cooked meat. We're going to go ahead and drag that down to the number 9. That's where I like to put it. You can put it wherever you want. We also have spoiled meat in here. Let's talk about spoilage. This is going to become an issue. In fact, let's go grab some berries. Let's compare. Let's do a comparison. Hello, Mr. Lystrosaurus. Mr. I don't know. What are you? That's a female. I'm sorry, Mrs. Lystrosaurus. Let's grab some berries here. And let's take a look. So, wrong one. In here, you're going to notice anything that is biological, I guess, is going to have a spoil timer. So we have a stack of 5 Mijo berries here, and they spoil in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. So what happens is at the end of 9 minutes and 40 seconds, one of those Mijo berries is going to go bye-bye, and we're going to have 4 left. So having a full stack of something means that it's going to last a little bit longer. If I had, say, 5 stacks of 1 berry, then they would all be gone in 9 minutes and 17 seconds. So always keep as few stacks of whatever on you as possible, things that'll spoil anyway, just so you know they're not going bye-bye and that sort of stuff. Now, there are certain cases where you're going to want to spoil things. For instance, meat. Meat, we've got a spoil timer of, what, 3 minutes and 3 seconds there. When meat goes bad, it turns into, you guessed it, spoiled meat. Spoiled meat is actually useful. Don't get rid of this just yet. We're actually going to use it. Now, don't eat it. It will make your health go down pretty quickly, and it will not satisfy your food at all. I don't think. I don't know. I'm not even going to try it because, ooh. So, yeah, but don't throw it away just yet. We're going to use that for stuff later. So we did see some spoiled meat in here. We're going to keep that. And then we saw some charcoal. We'll actually use that later also. All right, so it looks like we have mastered fire. Dude, you're in my shot. Seriously. Anyway, we've mastered tools. We've got a pointy stick to stab that bro who just came through my shot, and you know, we've got a hut to live in. So I call that progress. I'm doing pretty good. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe so you get video number 2. Hit the notification button so it annoys you that you'll go watching my video, and you know, leave some comments down below. I'm lonely. I want to hear from you. So I'll catch you in the next video. Dude, piss off.